We have a lot to do. So the fan showdown video, the first one that I put out, has been pretty popular. And you guys want to see more videos. And if you've seen my inbox, you haven't yet, but I have. It's pretty full of different design fans and whatnot, and it's only fitting we get started. But I got a lot to do because I've been pretty busy this week putting the Prusa together, learning how to use it, and busy with work and all the other stuff. So I'm kind of behind. So today we're gonna do some stuff that need to be done. We'll take a look at the inbox just so you can see how many fans are out there that people wanna showcase and test out and compete in this little competition. But if we're gonna have a competition, we need a leaderboard, and I got no leaderboard. So we're gonna have to make one. And the idea here is I wanna get, so in the basement, I'm doing that renovation. I got a lot of 2x4s left, so I'm gonna try to make some sort of back plate to mount here that will bolt into the wall, and we'll break it into like a top 5, break it into zones of top 5, so first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And the winning fan will obviously be in number 1 pot and all the way down to 5, and we'll just hang it in the background of all the videos so you guys can always see who's at the top of the leaderboard. So that's something we got to do, build a leaderboard, and then we also need to do another thing. Where's that? Here it is. So I went out and bought one. This is just a decibel meter, because many of you didn't like my app for whatever reason. It was so good. But here's a decibel meter because I want to noise normalize all the fans. Because I got to thinking, the big draw of the Noctua is that it performs good while being quiet, and somebody that's trying to design something to be quiet could probably get easily beat by somebody that's just doing a real steep angle of attack, blades just ripping the air, push as much as possible, but it's going to be louder doing it. So we're going to noise normalize the fans for testing, and how we're going to do so is I'm going to print some sort of bracket or fixture to hold this decibel meter, and then a location for the fans. We'll put a fan in there. We'll find the correct noise level, and then we'll take a reading of their RPM. So when we put them on the test bench, as long as we put that RPM back to where it was, we know that they're putting out the same amount of sound. So that'll kind of even the playing field for all your guys' designs and maybe make it a little bit more scientific. Plus I got an excuse to buy this finally. Now the Prusa is currently printing something that I've been at for a while. I tried it on the TiVo. Didn't really work how I wanted it to. Tried it on the Q5 and it worked better, but I still had issues. Was going to just abandon the project. But we're gonna see if the Prusa can do it, because the Prusa does really good. I can't tell you what it is, but you guys might have seen it laying on a table in a past video if you want to go Easter egg hunting. But that's nor here nor there. First thing we should do is probably set up, where are we at? 88%. We should probably design something to hold this and a fan. It's going to be something simple. I imagine just a plate, a location for a fan, and a bracket to hold the neck of this. Let's start with our base plate because that's where everything is going to start from, and like I said, we'll keep it simple and make it just a rectangle. We know it's got to be just bigger than a fan, so this rectangle is just going to stand in for our fan bottom, so we know kind of where it's going to lay. Want it to be on center, of course, and the easiest way to do that is just draw a line and make it horizontal. And we know the dimensions of the fan, I believe, are 25 millimeters for this guy. 2685, pretty sure that's about what we're gonna get. So we make it 27.5, 27.5, we know we got a little bit of wiggle room. Length, we'll measure it, but should be 120, 121.5, give us a little wiggle room. And we can see I need to make our, what's our distance here? 1.75, we can make that wider. Okay, that's what we want there, so now we'll just draw, basically we want locators on the corners. This is an easy way to do it without having to print a whole entire perimeter. Looking good, and now we just need to close all these up. Now we know our fan's going to be here, and we want the sensor head to be about 150 millimeters away. So that's going to be the base point for our holding collar, and we want it to come up 60 millimeters to be at just, you know, put the sensor to the center of the fan disc. And there we go, we're getting kind of starting something. We're starting something. So that should hold our sensor. And all we got to do is make sure that this is all within the printable window of the Prusa. And we are just there, so we should be all right. Now, one thing we could do is, this is a lot of wasted material since we only need this space and this space, so we can come up to the top. Why don't we cut some of this unneeded stuff away? And I think that'll do. It just puts around these corners just for looks. So now we'll print that out and see if it does what we want it to. Hopefully it does, and we won't have to do it again. So while we wait for that to print. We're gonna measure our space here for our victory board or our leaderboard, and go downstairs and try to make something that's not ugly. So as you can see, the basement has really progressed too much. I got all the electrical done, I guess. I got all my permits and everything signed, but yeah, there's no drywall. But I did have a contractor come out, look at finishing the space up, so I don't have to do it. So hopefully soon, this is where we will embark on all our projects. But for now, we're gonna cut some wood down here. So let's get some wood, cut some 4-foot sections and see how many we need to get to 1 foot wide. Oh, I like it. So, as you can see, as I was waiting for the stain to dry, I was like, wait a minute, I'm forgetting something. RGB. So I did go find some RGBs I had left laying around and an Arduino, and I put a little piece of wood on the back side of the leaderboard up there and put some RGB strips along the edge so it gets that nice background glow. And I think it turned out a lot better than I had originally planned, which is great. And now that this piece has also finished, I'm printing some tags. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. We'll hang some tags up there so you can tell which spot's which. And I guess we'll see if this works. So the idea here is that goes like this. Fan will slot in right there, locate just like that. Decibel meter, boom. And there you go, boom. Now we can, every time we print a new fan, we can make sure to noise normalize it in the same location every single time. So we at least hopefully get more accurate or a more level playing field. Well, let's wait for those to finish, and then we can print out one of the fans we find on the old email account, see which one it is. We'll just print out one for testing just to see how everything goes. We'll put it at position 1 because it'll be number 1. Ishibuzki, just tags are done, and the whole board is pretty much complete at this point. And I really like how it looks, to tell you the truth. It's a lot better than I originally had planned. And this thing works, so just so you know how I'm going to use it, fan goes here, dB meter goes here like we said. First thing I do is turn it on, get the room sound, because it's got to be in a controlled environment where it's nice and quiet. Then I'm going to turn the fan on, spin it all the way up, read what the dBA is. Then using a fan or a little tiny controller I have, I will turn the fan RPM down until I get to right around 40 decibels. Then I'll take a measurement of the RPM, and that way when I put the fan on the cooling radiator or whatever we're cooling at the time, as long as I match the RPMs up, we know that the fan's running at that noise level, and I'll do that with all the other fans. So 40 is going to be our target point. Now, for the cool part, we're going to jump on the Fan Showdown website. Or not website, it's a Gmail account, but we're gonna get on there and see how many things are in there, because I haven't been on that Gmail since I pretty much set it up. So now the reason this is so cool is because we got literally the collective mind of all of you guys out there. So if there's a good idea for how to make a fan, perform well, I'm sure we're gonna find it with just the sheer amount of brain power we're throwing at it. So let's see. I'll go back. So here's the Fan Showdown Gmail, 105. So we got 105 things. I'm sure they're not all fans. I'm sure people just sent me some notes and whatnot. But there's a lot of fans, just from what I see attachment-wise, to look at and go over in some upcoming videos. It's all the way back to the first, and here's some that I kind of already clicked on at least once. And we'll go to Bryce here with the best fan ever. See what he's got. Download it, and let's take a peek at it. Oh, I get it. Initially, I was a little concerned about the blade design that Bryce has chosen here, but I think I get it. He must just be a big fan of Austin Powers, and Dr. Evil's spaceship really gave him inspiration for this fan blade design, so we'll call it the Dr. Evil rocket fan. I mean, I'm still concerned about his chosen pitch here. It looks a bit steep, but who am I to agree? So we'll see how many RPMs we can run to get it under 40 dB, and then we'll see how well it cools. If it does, but good thing for Bryce is that this is the only fan that I've printed in this series, so he's gonna make it on the board. I got some bad news, Bryce. She ain't working. I'm sure that you probably knew that was gonna happen as well, but yeah, we're throttling. I don't know where the air is going. It kind of feels like it's coming out of the sides. I literally almost don't feel anything out the back, but can't really tell. Oh, I know what will tell. Let's smoke test it. The smoke test is always so interesting. So even though this is not an ideal setup, you can see that it is pulling air in to the center and then just kind of flinging it off the side rather than pushing it backwards. But that's kind of to be expected when you kind of look at the pitch angle of these little tiny rocket ships. They're not ideal. If this is a propeller, you would be like, the propeller is feathered, and that is not a good way to produce thrust. So it's not doing much in respects to moving air backwards, but hey, it was fun to try, fun to look at. I am running the A12X25 again because now that we're normalizing everything at 40 dBA, I had to tone it down a little bit. So for context, this thing to get 40 dBA spins at 1,260 RPM, where this one spins at 1,700. So you're getting more speed, more potential to move air faster. And this is the numbers that you guys are all aiming for. Obviously, this is not doing the best. Should be easy to beat, but the A12X25, everybody wants to be first. But if you can beat the A12X25, you'll be a legend. But regardless, since there's only one fan that's been run, Bryce is currently #1. So if you want to get involved in this little series, make sure you go out, design a fan to the specifications found on my Thingiverse account, and send it to my fanshowdown@gmail.com email address, and you might get picked to take down Dr. Evil, Dr. Evil's rocket fan. Till next time.